Hello and welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Fara Sax. Theater has a way of challenging, healing, and bringing us closer together. Main Street Players continues to prove why living storytelling matters more than ever. Today, we spotlight the world premiere of Kevin and the River Flan. Yep, Kevin and the River Flan, a bold and emotionally layered new production that blends surrealism, culture, and identity in this theatrical experience. So joining me today, or is it Vice President and two of its actors, and we're going to get into it all today together. Thank you so much. Jessica, Rubi, and Fawad, thank you so much.
Yay! Round of applause. Theatrical.
Yeah, nothing like actors to get things rolling. Fawad, let's talk about why this story, Kevin and the River Flan, is so unique.
It's created in collaboration with the writer and the actors. It's extremely local. So our director, our writer, our stars, everyone is local South Florida actors that live and breathe theater in this community. And this is a byproduct of their experiences in this community, from this community. And it's a beautiful, surreal extrapolation of their lives. And it's visual poetry and storytelling. It's not going to be like anything else you're going to see in South Florida, which is important. It's to incubate these stories and to cultivate these voices that we have. It's one thing to consume media, which we all do, right? And then occasionally you get reflected in the TV show or movie you see, and you're like, oh, wow. But you never think about where that person came from. People don't realize this, but Oscar Isaac is played in South Florida. He played on our stage once upon a time. Mm-hmm. And now you see him in everything, in Star Wars and all this. But where does he come from? He comes from this community. Do we support those other artists from this community that could be the next that?
And address the playwright. He's local. He came up through just as a little kid from Main Street Players, and he is actually the writer of
So Brandon Urrutia is one of the most vital artists in South Florida. His works are always challenging, always engaging, interesting, and get you thinking while you're watching it and after you leave it. And he is such a sweetheart of a local byproduct. I mean, he's from that theater. He used to go to summer camp at that theater. Now he's in New York doing big things as well and winning theater awards locally and there. So yeah, and then the way he works with actors is extremely unique. I'm sure that our cast member can talk about that. So it's just continuing Main Street's dedication to being a place that can help cultivate these voices and present them, and being a hub for local creativity. So what it needs is support. What it needs is the attention it deserves. So that's what we're here to help.
Jessica, tell me, you're a character.
Yes.
Well, maybe you are a character in real life, but you're a character in the play.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So tell me about your character. Tell me about what it's like for you as an actor to be on stage and be employed. That's what actors want. They want to be employed. They want to constantly be creating their craft and to hone it and make it better each time. So what is that like for you?
Yeah. Well, my name is Jessica Calle. I play Gwen in Kevin and the River Flan. And Gwen is Kevin's best friend throughout the story, is kind of someone who's really rooting for Kevin to get better, and is someone that is willing to put her own problems aside to help her friend. And yeah, I think that throughout the story that kind of shows very well. And for me as an actor, I mean, I love performing, obviously. Like, this is what I've done. I've been performing since I was in middle school, started off very young. So anytime I get an opportunity to be on stage, I am like jumping at it. I'm always on that, and yeah, I'm very excited to do another show. This is my second show at Main Street Players. I just finished doing one there and then started right into Kevin and the River Flan. So it was like a back-to-back process, which was fun, but a little chaotic at the moment it started. Yeah, and I do feel really happy. I do love Main Street Players. I love the people there, and I love that it is a homegrown kind of work, especially for this one. Like, I'm Cuban, and the story goes around a lot of like Cuban faith and Cuban personalities of all kinds, and like living in Miami, you're kind of surrounded by these things, and it talks about some things that sometimes people don't really know too much about, so very fun.
And Ruby, this is a later in your life kind of exciting rebirth, as we say, as an actor. And I think it's never too old. You're never too old, and it's always the right time to be an actor. So what is that like for you now to be on stage and bringing it every night, which is Thursday through Sunday, for the show?
It's very exciting. I had left acting a long time ago. I was in my 20s. I took some acting classes with Miami-Dade, Prometeo. It's a program based with Maria Teresa Rojas. I'm sure she no longer runs it anymore. And I decided I retired about 2 years ago. And then I decided, this is something that I want to do. And I saw that Main Street Players had an audition for Kevin and the River Flan, and there was for a woman named Ofelia Marin, which was in her 60s. I'm not 60 yet, but I'm almost there. But
Girl, it's just fine.
And I thought, hey, why not? Let me try. And I went and I did the audition, and I got a call back. And I think that one of the things that I think why I was picked by Ina, the director, was because Nico Graves, who plays Kevin, he asked me, hey, can we read this? And we went outside and we read, and there was like a connection there. And I think that connection is what, brought it together. And there's a connection there on stage. I play a mother of a son who has committed suicide. And it's, she's in touch with reality, but at the same time, she's still suffering from what's occurred. And it's been a while, and she's still bringing flan to the gods at the river. And I think that Kevin brings out what she needed to bring out to realize what's going on. And she and both her, Ophelia, and Kevin help each other out in the long run.
And it's a very poignant play for this topic. There's a lot of, after the show, I'm sure that you go out and you talk to the audience. Mm-hmm. What were some of the feedback that you've gotten with these performances and this storyline?
I do think that a lot of people find some of these characters relatable. I think that the characters are written in such a way that anybody can find themselves in them, in multiple characters. Like, even as me playing Gwen, I also see the relatability with Kevin at some points. I see the relatability with, with even the Orishas, the River Saints. I think that everyone can take something from everybody and take a lesson with them as well, of like how to maneuver situations and feelings and tough times in life. It's a very beautiful story. So I think I've heard a lot of people saying that, they saw themselves in Gwen, or they saw themselves in Kevin. And yeah, like having that connection with something you see on stage is really important, because it builds that catharsis, that whole thing of discovering something in yourself, because this show ignited that in you. I think that's like the best thing that can come out of this show.
Our previous show, Medea, which she starred in, was amazing in. I don't know if you guys saw that. It had more African American Black community members in it. This one has more Cuban community members in it, Cuban themes. In South Florida, we have these communities that are next to each other, that are all one community, that we see each other every day. We rub up against each other, but we don't really talk. We don't get deep into each other's culture. We don't get deep into each other's belief systems. And so we live in a very fractured time, as we know in this country right now, a very divided time. Mm-hmm. And the theater and art are one of the things that have the power to cross those boundaries teach you empathy and learn in a non-didactic way, where you're in their stories. And our theater space is very small, and it's very immersive.
You're on Main Street, right in Miami Lakes.
Yes, the beautiful.
It was an old converted Victoria's Secret.
Yes, and now the
it probably has a
secret
lot
is
of
theater.
secrets going on in that dressing room.
Yeah.
But the space is very intimate, black box set.
Yeah.
And how many people can come to the theater at one time?
60.
I think there's about 60-ish seats, and that's that. We also have the ability of like we bring up more chairs if the need demands. Like we bring out more chairs. We get like full houses, and it's really great because it's such an intimate space, and you feel like you're right there on the stage with the actors. And it's we use that as well as actors. Like we bring you in, and if there's like audience interaction in a show, like we make sure that we play with that, or like, yeah, it's really cool. It's a really nice space. And I think doing shows like this that are very all about the connection, all about that closeness and vulnerability, it's great to have this kind of intimate setting.
And when I think you mentioned yourself, and I had the same experience with Main Street specifically, in that it's a little hidden gem over there, and people will pass by and not realize it's a theater, and then see a flyer or something, and then they'll go inside and see a show. This is what happened with me, I know. And with these shows, the line between being an audience member and then finding out how to get involved, and maybe then auditioning for something, maybe starting an acting career. I was a non-actor. I saw a flyer on the window of Main Street. I saw an improv show. I started taking class. Within 2 years, I was on national television. And I've been on 20 TV shows and 20 movies and then a Broadway tour and this and that. And I'm not only one of many actors that have come through that space. And there's such phenomenal talent. We mentioned Nina, our director. She's from New World School of the Arts. You'll see talent from New World, from FIU, I graduated from UM. So that's also lovely to see, that it's a local voice developing local talent, talking about local themes. You don't get that. In my first show I ever saw there was a guy dressed as a Cuban superhero named El Super, AJ. And it spoke to me. I was like, oh my God. And they were talking about news and stuff that just happened. So some theater, I love a Broadway tour. I love a fancy show that's been well rehearsed, that was written 25 years ago, played, at the Public in New York, and then they did Broadway, and then they do national tours. But the work you're seeing, the words that were written were 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, beautifully reinterpreted. This stuff is new. And we also do, like she did Medea, which is from 3,000 years ago. But
you look pretty good for 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, it was a modern adaptation. But you'll see stuff that was written right now coming off the tongue of the playwright who's in the room next to you.
Yes. This is the world premiere of Kevin and the River Flood. So it's the first time it gets staged in any capacity. So, it's also great as like a playwright. I did get to talk to Brandon after our opening night and like have that conversation of like, what is that like to see your baby on the stage. And it's amazing. I mean, it's cool to be able to be the world premiere of something, of anything.
Was it a collaborative? I'm sorry. Was it a collaborative? Did you work together and like, we need to tweak this a little, we need to come out. Oh, there seems to be a story there.
So Brandon, as a playwright, love him to death. But Brandon is someone that with the playwright aspect kind of lets the director take the wheel and take charge of like their vision of it and things like that, and would only like kind of respond if there was like questions about the script, or we have like some parts that we added a couple of words in, or like, can we say this instead of this, and just slight little tweaks. But Brandon was very hands off and was like, I will be there to see it, but is very much like, you guys got this, and take it as you will, do what you want. I trust you guys. So it was a very welcoming process, but
I just want to add that one of the most important aspects of Kevin and the River Flan is that it's bilingual. So it's in Spanish and in English.
Yes.
So it represents Miami's community. I also want to say that one of the things about Kevin and the River Flan is that
just that name cracks me up. All I see is like a sea of
great,
flan,
right?
and I just want to eat.
That's
I just want
great.
to jump in and eat.
we
love
do
flan.
eat on stage. It's true.
You got to. You're Cuban, right? Yeah.
Everybody loves flan.
I just want to add that in today's society where we are so involved in social media and basically we're just looking down at our phones, I think this play addresses loneliness. And if you look, Kevin has friends that are there for him. He has Gwen, but even though Gwen is there, he's not admitting what's going on with him. Ophelia has no one. She only goes to the gods to, her deep sorrow, her feelings. And I think Kevin is the same way. And this play addresses that we need to reach out to people, that we need to be in connection. And it was something that Fawad said about the community and how, like this culture's here and this culture's here, but we don't combine each other. And I think this play brings that out where it shows that you need that human connection. And that's one of the most important aspects, I think, of this play. It does touch on a very, delicate subject, but it's, because there are people out there who probably think just like Kevin, and feel that same way. And though they have friends, they're not sharing what's going on. And this helps. I think this helps, in a sort of way.
Yeah, the phones and the media, it's funny. We're consuming so much media. We're seeing so many different faces, hearing so many different voices. But often it's you at 3 a.m. in your bed.
Yeah.
Like this, scrolling. In a cage. And they know that this stuff isolates you more and more and more. So live theater, even a humble theater like ours, the work that it does is so fundamental and important to to get other inputs, to hear the other voices, and then it's for 30 minutes or not 30 minutes, for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. We have your attention.
You have your attention. You're there in that space, and you feel it. You feel that. You hear the breath of the person next to you, and the shock, and the whatever. Yeah.
And that's why theater is so important. It really, I think one of you mentioned, is reflective of the human being, the human condition, and I think that's really important. That we don't get that when we're scrolling. Yeah, we don't get that that kind realness. Of. Maybe I can identify. Maybe there is help out there. You were just saying that. So we're not so fragmented, but we can come together and maybe make a positive change. And theater does that. It helps you reflect. It helps you move forward in your own thoughts.
Absolutely.
And every night it's a completely different. You go, wow, it was different than last night. I didn't expect it to go that way, right?
And I just want to add one more thing that's really great. Kevin is a young person, and Ophelia is an older person. And there's a connection there because in reality and society, young people are here and older people are here.
Boomer.
And it's kind of
that split.
Yeah,
right, that split.
Boomer.
I'm not a boomer, so I'm a Gen X. But
such labels. I hate labels.
Right. But it brings them together.
It brings them together because at the end of the play, and I hate to spoil
don't
spoil alert.
You gotta go see it right now.
There's a coming together.
There's a unity, so that split, there's a unity within different age groups. So I'm the older, I'm the Gen X, and everybody else is Gen Z.
Don't worry, we don't we don't label you at
labels.
all. So let's talk about there's other wonderful things happening at the Players at Main Street. So let's talk about maybe the summer camp. Wizard of Oz. Who wants to talk about the Wizard of Oz?
Summer camp is amazing. Summer camps are the heart of theaters. No community theater, no local theater survives without this unsung hero, this thing called summer camp. I wonder how much of it is parents desperate to have their kids away from them during the summer. But this is like a different reality. And so you have...
Tell me what happens. What happens in a day? You have how many screaming children?
So Brandon is one of our camp counselors, our leaders, and so it's him and Sarah.
Sarah Jarrell, yeah.
So these are Sarah Jarrell, who's our creative director. Both, Sarah's New World School of the Arts. Brandon is FIU.
Yeah.
They're both working actors. Brandon's obviously this up and coming playwright.
And a teacher.
And a teacher. He's also a public school teacher.
Yes.
So
what a resume. Where is Brandon?
He's probably at teaching right now. He's probably doing one of the 18 jobs. But I myself was like, how does this work? You have these kids for 8 hours a day? What? 5 days a week?
So this is what's going on in the creative camp.
Yes,
The
and
arts
they
camp.
and they're going to
Yeah.
produce a play. Basically, they produce
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz, so they all work on it. They work the chops.
Yeah,
act,
they have rehearsals. They do
Yeah.
the costumes. They do everything.
And
like, they get,
how old are the kids?
I don't know the age
Oh,
group
I should know
exactly.
this.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can visit their the Main Street.
Yes, all the information is on the
scrolling on the
website,
bottom
yeah.
of this interview, so you can
Yes.
get more
Yes.
information. And how many
Yes.
weeks is it for?
It's I think 4 weeks is the first session. 2 weeks is the second. First session is they're putting up the play. Second session they're writing. It's a playwriting workshop. The second one. So yeah, it's action packed and huge success last time. They're thrilled, looking forward to it now. In general, there's such wonderful youth theater and after school programs and summer camps all over the city. If you don't go to ours, send your kids to one because we need these artists. We need to cultivate their voices. We're an immigrant community, largely. And I come from an immigrant family. My parents were the first Pakistani couple in Miami, supposedly one of them, in 1971. And so I'm that, what is it, first generation, second generation, like everybody else.
Yeah.
And we know what our families are about, right? We get over here, you have to survive. You have to work, become a doctor, become a lawyer, become an engineer,
Become an
something, work.
actor.
That has always happened. So this gets put on the side. So
yeah.
it's such an integral experience for them to learn from these young people. We need this so badly.
And you never know when these productions really light a child up.
Of course,
whether they want to be an actor, whether they want to go into public speaking, you don't know that you have made a difference in a child's life that probably you won't know for years later. And they come back and they realize, this is where I got lit up. This is where I made this decision to become X, Y, and Z because of Main Street players.
Yeah, the skills are so important. The skills are so important for anything. For anything. I run my family's engineering company that fell on my head 10 years ago, and I was doing nothing but acting before that. And thank God I was doing acting before that, because the level of performance you have to do with some of these developers and stuff. But
we all play
all of us,
different
all of us.
roles in our lives, and and I think the foundation of being actors, performers, that we really can pivot in
voice,
different
communicate.
situations in our lives.
Yes. And I think also just being able to how you present yourself and to other people and meeting peers and networking and things like that, like these skills that you learn in the fundamental of theater, of acting, is so important. It will carry you through anything and everything that you do in your life, you know? And I was like one of those kids that had like one experience that I did like a little performance in school, and that lit a spark in me, and that awoke something in me. I used to be like a very shy, very anxious, didn't talk, like would not like say anything kind of kid. And theater opens you up, and you blossom like a flower. You like learn how to talk to people. You learn how to not be afraid when you're performing in front of 500 people. Like it's one of those things that it is a beautiful thing to have and to learn through, you know. Yeah.
Talk about the upcoming season. Do we have this settled yet?
Salida is our next play.
Yes. I think that's the end of this year's of this season. After that, I don't know if there is.
We've started. I think Sarah's picked the plays for next season.
But
I don't think they've been announced yet.
Do you have any like inside you can share with me, or you don't know yet? It's okay.
Small productions. The female-led productions as well as male. Which is not saying much. We just went over. We just went over. But the next one is very, very exciting. Salida is another local, homegrown Nick Quintana, who I've seen grow up from a baby to a performing artist. His parents are both local teachers, like very well-known local theater teachers that run the whole theater programs in South Florida. So I've seen this kid grow up. His younger brother is up in New York dancing and stuff, and this kid's writing plays here now. And this is about dominoes feature prominently, Cuban domino competition.
That's not too Miami at all.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, some big surprise.
Right.
Yeah, but it's got family tension, drama, jail. It's really fun. It's fun, and it's fun to see that kid grow up and become a good playwright. It's great. So that's coming up next, and then the next one next year. I'm not sure if she's fully announced them.
That's okay. We can move from there. So,
but the announcement should be
theater
coming soon.
Theater to be continued, to be determined. Theater doesn't exist in a bubble. It needs an audience. It needs support. It needs donations. And you have a huge brunch coming up on May 17th.
We do.
Yes.
So how do you get involved? How do you support? Well, we have a brunch coming up where you're going to get to see a smattering of different arts that are regularly on display at the theater. You get them in one wonderful package. It's May 17th. It's Sunday at the Garrison Tap Room in Miami Lakes, and there's a full spread there. We did it last year as well. What's nice is you see other local performing, like top tier local actors and performers come through as well. Where do you see that in South Florida? Where do you go and see a kind of variety show of local talent? Honestly, like where does that happen? So there's another showcase that is great. So please, visit the website, help support the theater. The theater does not exist without you. So you have no excuse if you complain about South Florida is only about nightclubs and debauchery. And where do we?
Well, that's just kind of sad.
Yeah. So we have culture. Look, when you go to New York City, when you go to Chicago, when you go to Los Angeles, Atlanta, there's so much culture everywhere.
And look at here. We're even showing a little bit about the play, not giving too much away, but I want to share those quick slides, and we'll get back to what you were saying.
I think we have to mention also the gods. We didn't mention who the actors are that play Ochung and Babalu Aye.
So tell me about who the actors are and what they play, who they are.
So we got right there. We've got Nico Graves, who is
Kevin.
He's in the red.
Yes, in red. I am Gwen in blue, right there, drinking my Baja Blast. And then we've got what is his full name? I don't know his last name.
Yeah, Giuseppe, but
Giuseppe, I don't know his last name.
Okay, that's
he
Giuseppe.
Is playing Babalu Aye in the purple in the back. He stays on stage the entire show, is even on stage already once you walk into the theater. It is really cool. We hear people backstage, like from the audience, we can hear them. And they're like, oh, is that a mannequin? Is it a real person?
Wow, that's so cool.
It's so fun.
One little girl thought it was AI.
It does.
Right.
And I think it comes to the Babalu Aye, it's supposed to be San Lázaro. And in most households, like Cuban households that believe in that, they always have a statue. So that's kind of like there. Why he's placed there.
So Cuban culture obviously has this combination of spiritual influences from Catholicism and Catholic saints to what's called Santeria or Santero, and which are African gods, and how they were a combination sometimes in the culture. Well, it became a combination of the the Catholic saint with the African god deity, and practice in the household. So in Kevin, you're going to get to meet some of these figures.
Yeah.
And who's the figure next to Kevin?
That's me.
I know it's you.
Playing Ofelia Marin, who's dressed all in white because she's a believer in Ochun. So
What's Ochun?
Ochun is one of the gods.
Is it a good witch or a bad witch?
It's a good witch.
Okay, good. The Wizard of Oz. Here we go.
Ochun in the Cuban community of the Catholic is La Caridad del Cobre. And she's the saint of Cuba. Basically, she saved some fishermen from drowning. So that's why she comes from the river. She's the river saint.
Wonderful. Will we have another one?
Oh, that's me again.
Yeah, I don't.
More action.
Ochun is played by.
Oh, there's Babalu Aye.
Babalu.
Yes, they have some pretty intense moments.
Yeah.
Babalu Aye enters their part in the play speaking only Spanish. So it's really cool if you are bilingual just to see bilingual plays happen. I don't think I've fully seen a bilingual play, English and Spanish. So it's really cool to be able to be like, wow, okay.
Now it's still accessible, mind you, because it's kind of like El Paso USA used to be, for those who remember that revolutionary sitcom, where stuff will be said in Spanish, but it will be reiterated in English again, or responded to in English that explains the context. So anyone from any language background can still understand it.
And you're in the middle of this run, like May 7th, it's a couple more weeks. It's Thursday through Sunday, Thursday through Saturday night at 8 o'clock, Sunday matinee at 2 o'clock.
2 p.m.
Yes.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add to?
I mean, it's a
Mr. Flan,
story,
Kevin and the Flan there,
If
River
you like flan, if you like cafecito, if you like, all things Baja Blast, Taco Bell.
And it's not all serious. There is some comedic relief to it.
Yes.
So
yes, there is quite a bit of comedy.
Right.
We have some really good punchy one-liners and it's a very fun piece. Definitely would recommend for anybody that loves a good time.
And also, we were talking about Comedy. Tell me about what's going on at the theater.
Comedy.
He was going to come in a giraffe costume.
Can I put
It's
the
okay.
giraffe
It's
outfit
okay.
on?
No, baby. It's okay. We like you this way. Okay. But tell me a little bit about what's going on with the comedy.
So Main Street Playhouse is also the home of the Short Round Improv Theater Group for the last couple of years, which is a continuation of the original improv group Laughing Gas, which was there for many, many years. The earliest improv group in South Florida. Our late founder and teacher, Gerald Owens, helped us establish it. So it is one of the prominent improv theater groups in South Florida. Improv is one of the most inclusive forms of acting, and our theater is one of the most inclusive theaters in general in South Florida. It's a place where people come off stage. We talked about the kids camp and how that's a way to get the younger generations. I didn't start acting until I was 28 years old. I just stumbled in. Like I said, I saw a flyer, I walked in, and with improv theater, we want everybody in all types to come in. It's basically making stuff up on the fly. It's like the show Whose Line Is It Anyway on TV. And the classes themselves are wonderful. You'll get all walks of life in, not just actors. There's bankers and bakers and little kids in
Candlestick
wheelchairs.
makers.
Candlestick makers. Occasionally an iguana and and a giraffe costume. The first idea is all your ideas are good. That's the first thought you learn. And then it just unlocks your creativity. So we do classes every Sunday, 6 to 8, drop in, anybody can show up, a little jam at the end. And then at the end of the month, we do a big, insane, costumed, crazy show. We've done Roman Empire stuff where everybody's dressed like gladiators. We had leprechauns versus St. Patrick. We had pilgrims versus turkeys. I had a bunch of actors in cockroach costumes. So it's a good time. But again, it unlocked me, and then I started booking national work. And so now I juggle that with the TV film stuff. I was the prime minister of Jordan on an episode of FBI back in January. They tried to assassinate me. And a movie with Kevin Bacon on Netflix where I'm an Afghan bar owner. So and I'm just one of a number of actors that started with improv theater, and it gets you so good at just thinking on your feet, gets you great at auditioning. Within it we're part of the largest South Florida acting community. We're one of like 2 or 3 improv theaters in town. We're friends with the casting offices in town who book all the commercial actors and the TV and film actors. We're starting to get some film industry back in South Florida. They're passing some tax breaks. So back in the day, that's what improv theaters were. That's where all the training, and I'm always sharp when I get onto a set. So it's great to help a new generation learn that, and older folks. We've got 70-year-olds, and we've got 16-year-olds, 70-year-olds.
And it's a pleasure. And not only is it wonderful for our community as a cultural experience, but an audience to come, watch, support, donate, take your time, your money, and keep the arts going, because you never know who these artists for the future are. And we got to keep the voice alive in our community. So good luck with Kevin and the River Flan. All right. So go out and see, be part of the action, support and love it. And I want to thank you all for coming, and good luck, break legs, as we say. And I want to thank you for joining us. I'm Fara Sax. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great day.